If you have ever wondered why some people get promoted faster, trusted more, and treated with more respect, often without being the smartest person in the room, this is usually why. Respect at work is rarely about one big moment. It's about small behavior people notice every day and quietly remember. In the next 20 minutes, I'll show you 10 business etiquette mistakes that cost you respect, including a few that feel minor, but career limiting. I'll also show you exactly what to do instead, so you can build a reputation for calm professionalism. And stay to the end, because the last mistake is one that makes people instantly stop taking someone seriously, even if they are competent. This isn't about being stiff, fake, or overly formal. It's about social competence in professional spaces. I'll move quickly and keep this practical. What the mistake looks like, why it costs your respect, what to do instead, with exact phrases you can use. Let's start with one that damages people's reputation fastest, because it signals disrespect before you even prove your value. Mistake 1. Using slurs or full language like it's normal. What it looks like: casual swearing at work, aggressive language in meetings, crude jokes, slurs, anything that makes others feel like they have to tolerate you. Even if your workplace is informal, here is what's always true. Full language changes the emotional temperature of the room. Why it costs you respect? It signals poor self-control, low emotional intelligence, disregard for those who have to listen, and in worst cases, hostility or contempt. When people feel you don't care about their comfort, they often respond by caring less about you, avoiding you, or quietly despising you. And in professional environment, people avoid risk. If your language is unpredictable, you become a risk. What to do instead? Use a simple rule. Speak as if the most sensitive person in the room matters. Because they do. If you want to test, ask yourself, will they speak the same way if a client walked in right now? If not, it doesn't belong. And if you want respect without forcing it, the next mistake is even more subtle. Because it's not about what you say, but whether you signal basic care. Mistake 2. Getting names, pronouns, or titles wrong. What it looks like: using the wrong name repeatedly, mispronouncing someone's name without trying to fix it, using wrong pronouns, using wrong suffixes, titles in emails, or acting like it doesn't matter. Why it costs you respect? Names and pronouns are identity. When you constantly get them wrong, you communicate, I don't care enough to remember you correctly. Even if it's unintentional, the message still lands. What to do instead? If you get it wrong, apologize briefly, correct yourself immediately, move on, don't over-explain. Example: I'm sorry, Alex. Thank you for catching that. Or apologies. Please continue. No drama, no speech, just correction. If someone else gets it wrong, correct them at the first appropriate moment. Don't let it go on too long. Simple option in the moment. Just to clarify, it's she. After the meeting, quick note, their name is pronounced. This might seem small, but in contexts to something bigger, respect is often communicated by what you protect, especially privacy. That's next. Mistake number 3, not respecting privacy and discretion. What it looks like. Sharing internal information outside of work, discussing coworker situations casually, oversharing personal details at work, asking intrusive questions, repeating private conversations as stories. Why it costs you respect? People want to work with someone who is safe. If you share too freely, people assume you will share their information too. You can't be trusted with sensitive matters. You don't understand boundaries. And here's the part that many people miss. Discretion isn't secrecy, it's judgment. What to do instead? The simple rule. If it's not yours to share, don't share it. Another helpful rule. If you are unsure, treat it as private. Also important, you do not have to share your own private information at work. If someone asks something you don't want to answer, you can say, I keep that private, but thank you. I'd rather not discuss personal details at work. I'm not comfortable sharing that. Notice how calm those phrases are. Calm boundaries create respect. Now, if you want to lose respect instantly, there's an even faster way. Disrespecting people you think don't matter. Those mistakes are visible more than you think. Mistake 4. Not respecting staff. What it looks like. Being rude to waitress, turning a business lunch, receptionist, cleaning staff, junior employees, interns, assistants. Why it costs you respect? Because everyone is watching. How you treat people with less power reveals your character more than how you treat people above you. Also, workplaces run on invisible labor. Disrespecting staff signals entitlement and poor leadership potential. What to do instead? Say hello, make eye contact, say thank you, be patient. Speak respectfully, clean up after yourself. More on that soon. At the business lunch, a small rule. Speak to wait staff kindly and efficiently. They are doing their job and you are representing your company. And this leads into the next mistake. People assume professional standards are about big achievements, but most respect is earned through reliability. Mistake number 5. Not following basic professional standards. This is the biggest category because it quietly determines your reputation. What it looks like. Being late, missing deadlines, forgetting tasks repeatedly, acting like work is optional, being negative or clinical, treating coworkers like one-dimensional tools, not being accountable, creating friction instead of solutions. Why it costs you respect? Professionalism is not personality, it's predictability. People respect coworkers, show up reliably, follow through, take responsibility, and keep the environment workable. A respectful person is often simply a low drama, high reliability person. What to do instead? Here is a practical professional standard checklist. Show up like work is your priority. Be timely and accountable. Assume coworkers are multi-faced humans, not obstacles. Respect shared spaces. Bring positive team player attitude. Share credit and share information appropriately. Offer help without performing it. Give useful feedback. Specific, calm, actionable. Check bad behavior at the door. Lead with civility. If you want one sentence to earn respect fast, it's this: take responsibility for that. People remember that. Now, let's talk about mistakes that feels small, but creates daily resentment, and resentment kills respect faster than you think. Mistake number 6. Not respecting common areas. What it looks like. Leaving mess after lunch, dirty dishes in the sink, crumbs and spills, leaving your stuff everywhere, treating share areas like personal spaces. Why it costs you respect? Common spaces are social contexts. When you leave mess, you communicate, someone else will handle my consequences. That creates resentment, even if no one confronts you. What to do instead? The simple rule. Leave shared spaces slightly better than you found them. At minimum, clean your area, put things back, throw away trash, don't leave chaos for others. If you think respect is only about performance, this is your reminder. People judge your character through daily habits. Now, here is another small area that quietly decides whether people feel comfortable around you. Mistake number 7. Ignoring basic office courtesies. What it looks like. Not greeting people, avoiding eye contact, never smiling, walking past coworkers like they don't exist, not saying goodbye, being socially cold without realizing it. Why it costs you respect? Office courtesies create psychological safety. They signal, I acknowledge you. You are part of this environment. We are working together. If you skip those, people may interpret it as arrogance, hostility, or detachment, even if you're simply focused. What to do instead? Low effort, high impact habits. Say hello, small smile, say goodbye, use names when possible. You don't need to be extroverted, you just need to be acknowledging. You can be quiet and still be warm. That combination often earns the most respect. Next is one of the most common respect killers. People confuse being direct with being harsh. Let's separate those. Mistake number 8. Using directness as excuse for rudeness. What it looks like. Blunt criticism with no tact. Speaking sharply in meetings. Correcting people publicly. Using I'm just honest as a shield. Why it costs you respect? Professional respect is not fear. If people respect you only because they are afraid you, it's only temporary. Rudeness signals poor emotional regulation and weak leadership. What to do instead? Use clear and calm as your standard. Instead of that makes no sense, try can you walk me through the reasoning? I'm not following yet. Instead of You did this wrong. Try. Here is what I adjust for next time. You can be honest without being abrasive. And speaking of correcting people, here is a way to do it that builds respect and a way that destroys it. That's next. Mistake number 9. Correcting people in a way that humiliates them. What it looks like. Calling someone out publicly. Well, actually, behavior. Correcting small details in front of others. Treating mistakes as entertainment. Why it costs you respect? Because people don't forget how you make them feel. If you humiliate people, they may comply with you, but they won't trust you. What to do instead? Use the public praise, private correction principle whenever possible. If correction has to happen publicly, keep it minimal. Just a quick clarification. This number is actually X. Then move on. If you want people to improve you, they need dignity. You can't build competence by destroying confidence. Now, the final mistake is the one that ruins respect even when someone is talented, because it poisons the emotional climate around them. Mistake number 10. Being a consistent source of negativity. What it looks like. Complaining consistently. Criticism. Gossip disguised as updates. Bringing problems with no solutions. Making the workplace emotionally heavy. Why it costs you respect? Negativity makes you exhausting. People may agree with you in the moment, but long term they avoid you. Also, negativity signals lack of ownership. Pointing out problems without contributing solutions. Criticizing without building. What to do instead? Use the complaint solution rule. If you mention a problem, suggest one possible improvement. And if you are having a bad day, you can still be professional. I'm not in my best today, but I'll keep it focused. That's maturity. Let's recap the 10 mistakes. Full language or slurs. Names, pronouns, titles wrong and not correcting. No discretion with privacy. Disrespecting staff. Unreliable professional standards. Messing up common areas. Ignoring office courtesies. Directness as rudeness. Humiliating corrections. Chronic negativity. Notice something. None of those require talent to fix. They require awareness. If you want a practical way to apply this standard today, do this. Ask yourself, which of those mistakes am I most at risk of? Which is one small change I can implement this week? Pick one. Replacement behavior. Example. If you struggle with common areas, clean immediately after use. If you struggle with greeting, greet first person you see. If you struggle with negativity, add one solution when you mention a problem. If you struggle with names, write them down and practice pronunciation. Small changes here produce huge returns because people notice consistency. Respect at work is earned in quiet ways. It's not about being perfect. It's about being safe, reliable, considerate, and civil. When you avoid those 10 mistakes, you don't just become polite, you become easier to work with and easier to trust. And in most careers, trust is the real currency. If you want, comment which mistake you have seen most often in workplaces, without naming names. Thank you for watching.